So something really important just came up here. I was watching the TheWayFwrd podcast. This is episode 95 with Jesse Eld. I believe that's how his last name is pronounced. Jesse Eld. Time piercing. Now, Jesse here talks about his upbringing and how his father was a school teacher, and yet Jesse never went to school. Was never stepped foot. I mean, maybe he entered a school at some point. That's besides the point here. Was never indoctrinated with that system, that public school system, or any other school system that has that sort of agenda. So it's incredible to me that here we go. You know, this is what I've been talking about when I talk about on certain videos, the pure human existence. This is what I'm talking about. And I knew it was just a matter of time. First of all, I knew there was people like this out there that were living as close to the pure human existence as possible. Jesse's one of those people. And I knew it was just a matter of time until I stumbled upon one that was going to share his story, and here it is. So today, it's a momentous day for me. May the 26th, 2024. Jesse shares here in this clip I'm about to show you his upbringing, his love for books and for learning, and for the amazing gift that his parents blessed him with, which is the ability to guide his own life and to write his own story right from the beginning. It almost moves me to tears just talking about it, because it's so incredible, and it's so in line with what I've been talking about when I'm talking about the pure human existence. Because those three words, alone don't hold the meaning that, not even close to the meaning that Jesse is about to share with us. And I'll play the video now, and hopefully you're as blown away by this as I was. Enjoy.
I was born in Austin, first oldest of five. And my parents made, what I found out later, made what turned out to be, as far as I'm concerned, the most incredible decision that a parent could have made. And according to their stories, which line up, they've told me these on different occasions, that when I was born, they looked at me and they just said, "We think that this soul knows what he needs more than we do. And so we're just going to love him, but we're going to stay out of his way." And as a result of that, I never went to school. I never sat behind a desk.
Can you emphasize that too? Because there's never went to school, but there's never went to school.
Yeah, I never sat behind a desk. I've never taken a test. I've never gotten a grade. I don't know what it's like to raise my hand to ask permission to go to the bathroom. And ironically, my dad was a school teacher.
Wow. I didn't know that part.
Yeah. So he'd come home with all these books. He taught 7th and 8th grade math and Spanish, primarily. He taught a lot of things, but.
Just want to pause the video briefly here for a moment to talk about how amazing that statement is. Okay. His dad was a school teacher. Now, why would he not want his son to be a part of that? You got to think. There was probably a really good reason, and he would know from the inside of this system if this was something that he would want his own son to be a part of or not. So just keep that in mind when you're watching this. What a gift. What a gift his parents gave him.
So he'd come home and there'd be all these books on the kitchen table. And I remember being, like 5, 6, 7 years old, and my dad just saying, these are all for you to read. You read whatever book you want. And then you just walk away. And I remember the feeling of it was one of my earliest feelings of wealth and abundance. It's like, I can read any of these books. And I felt so free and so excited. And I didn't realize till years later what a clutch move that was on his part, because I got the experience of freedom, but he's the one that chose the choices. Mm. And so all the books that were there was like Tom Sawyer, Huck Finn, the Iliad and the Odyssey. Wow. I mean, it's just like epic stuff. And, we didn't have a TV. We had a little tiny black and white TV, but it was back when there was 3 channels and, you can only get one if there's like the hanger was in just right and you stood a certain way. So I had a very, I would say very embodied childhood where there was tons of love, felt pretty safe for the most part until I was about 9 and some other stuff happened. But even that was fantastic. So I had I just had time. I had hours and hours and hours every day to do whatever I was interested in. And there was this wonderful relationship between freedom and responsibility. So every time, as I was growing up and there was other freedoms that I would want to have, like, I want to ride my bike to the mall, not just around the neighborhood, or I want to stay up late and watch Saturday Night Live, when I was like 11 or 12 years old. And so every time I would want a new freedom, the question was always very lovingly, but very clearly, what is the responsibility that you're going to take on so that you can have this freedom?
Is this an ask of your parents, or would you ask yourself this ask of your parents?
Oh yeah. I was oblivious. I'm like, right. I just want it. I want
what
it.
What an incredible question.
It shaped my entire life.
It shaped my entire life. Wow. I'm speechless at this point. I mean, his parents were so ahead of their time. There was a spark of that in the 60s, I'm sure, in a lot of children that were being raised in a completely different way than society was used to. But here you have it in the modern age, right? So it's there, it's possible. I love what he said. I love so much about this, but I love how he said his parents basically, positioned it to him as, okay, you want this freedom? Then what responsibility are you willing to take on? Probably in relation to that freedom that you're asking for. Brilliant. Brilliant. It's effective. It's honest. It's true. And it's loving. Like he said, he was raised in a loving environment. And that can make all the difference in the world, It's not to say that you'll never have any conflict or uncomfortable moments will obviously pop up in any upbringing. And as he sort of alluded to when he was 9, obviously something happened, but he was quick to get it back on track to something that was ultimately positive. It's perfect. I mean, this guy, I don't know, I'm fairly good at guessing people's ages. I would put him maybe in his late 40s, early 50s. Probably more well-adjusted than the vast majority of our population. And I want to see more people like this. I want to see more people like Jesse being raised in this pure human existence that's not being unfairly influenced by outside sources, by financial motivation, by corporate greed, right? These are the things that we need to shelter our young people from at this stage. I'm not a big fan of sheltering kids, period. But unfortunately, our world has become so toxic in some ways that they deserve and they need to be sheltered for certain things. They should also be free enough to go and make their own mistakes in a safe environment, to fall and bump their knees and heal and grow from that experience. But also, they need a fair chance. They need the ability to grow up like Jesse and to have parents that would even think to do something like that, right? You have to change the whole paradigm. You have to change the whole zeitgeist, because this needs to be in the spirit of the time. This needs to be in the spirit of the people that are living in this time. It really needs to be a lifestyle almost, So anyway, as I was watching this, and again, all credit to Alec Zeck, huge inspiration for me since I discovered his channel, TheWayFwrd. I encourage you, if you like this clip, to watch the entire podcast. I watch all of Alec's podcasts. I really enjoy them. I really enjoy the guests that he talks to and the subject matter that they bring up. I really enjoy it. So check it out. This one's episode 95, again, Time Piercing, featuring Jesse Eld. and you'll find it on Rumble under the TheWayFwrd channel. Support these guys, please. They're highly underrated. I'd like to see their followers get to 5,000, 10,000. 1.4 is not enough. Let's get a higher following and join me in giving them likes and all the support that they deserve. Comment as well. There's often good discussions in the comments for these. Thanks for watching. Take care. See you next time, and enjoy that pure human existence.
Freedom is born from responsibility. And anytime somebody's experiencing a lack of freedom in their life, it's always the result of a lack of responsibility somewhere. And the greater responsibility someone's willing to take on, the more freedoms they end up getting.